Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to my garden. Today I'm going to take you with me to the front garden for different reasons. You can see in my back already. I think the last time I was here with you, you could only see an ocean of brown mulch and that kind of just disappeared under all the beautiful greenery. It looks so glorious now, so I want to give you a little bit of a spring update tour in here and just show you how things are looking. The tulips really kicking in now, euphorbia looks glorious, the epimedium in my back here. So this is one of those things, and also want to share with you what I do on a daily basis, because obviously not every garden day is always planting, even though today's video will be about planting, and I'm going to break it down into two videos here in the front garden because I have some really exciting things that I want to put into the ground, and I just really want to take the time and just share my thought process with you. Now the sun comes out, which is beautiful and warm. Shouldn't jinx it again, but it is warm, so I'm just going to go next to the hatch so you can at least see me a little bit. And that is also good because now in my back you might see a little chartreuse yellow blob standing there, and this is what I want to plant today. It is an Acer. So thrilled and happy about it, and that was one of those purchases that was not really on my list. I just went to the garden center in Germany, and obviously I just wanted to buy some, what did I actually wanted to buy? I think organic bone chips or something like this. Something like what I know I can't really get my hand on easily here. Yeah, that was it. But then when you're in the garden center, what do? You just like do your rounds and then you discover something. And I discovered that, and the second I saw it standing there in its container, I was like, yes, this is bound to work. I exactly know where I want to put it. I was so happy with it. I checked the label and I was like, yeah, right plant and right location. That is so wonderful. So that went straight into my shopping cart. Obviously it looks a little bigger at the moment because it's still in its container, and it's sat there already for 3-4 days now because I really wanted to take the time just to observe it and see, do I like it? Do I really think it is a perfect location? But yes, I think it is. So what I want to do now is just give you a quick tour, how things are looking, share all the information about the Acer with you, and also just share why I think that this plant is going to work so well there. So I hope you are excited about part one of working in the front garden with me. Look who joins me on my garden tour today as well. Alfie's with me. Yay! Want to play? Want to play, right? I'm just waiting for the clouds to give a little bit of a nice view onto the garden because then I don't have harsh shadows. And when the sun is out, then we're going to play. How about that? I think this is one of my favorite vistas into the front garden. Just a little heads up, behind the hatch and the swing bench there is a road, so every now and then when I'm working in the front garden you're gonna hear cars, so I'm sorry for that. But looking at it, you might be like, Daniel, you don't like the color of yellow. So why do we see so much yellow in here? Yellow for me, there is a fine line of what I like and what I don't appreciate. So whenever yellow is kind of like sulfury or chartreuse or lemony, I really love it. Whenever yellow gets warm and kind of like sunshine, sunflower yellow, do I dare to say it? I know a lot of people love it, but it's just not my cup of tea. I love a field of sunflowers, but not in my garden. But this is an absolute fantastic euphorbia. I'm constantly talking about it, but I think it is just really beautiful. This is euphorbia tall boy. It really is a carpet of blooms. It has a fragrance, which is also fantastic. So sitting on the terrace, we really get to enjoy the perfume. The only one thing is that it can be a little bit invasive. So you see it has runners. They're already growing in between the grasses here, and then also already trying to hug my beautiful sedum here. So at one point I need to come in and just move those runners, but that is a job that is so easy and can be done so quickly, so nothing to be afraid of. We continue walking, then you see another really lovely combination. This is the evergreen euphorbia that really comes to life now. Beautiful, big, massive flowers. Even get to see them when I'm working in the kitchen in there. And then this is one of my absolute favorite combinations. It is Nepeta. This is Walker Low, and it just comes to bloom. You already see a little bit of purple appearing, and then I underplanted with tulips, and this is the only tulip that I use in the front garden. This is called Twilight Princess, and it's so delicate, like the color variegation in every single petal with the green and the white. I think it's beautiful. It ages absolutely gracefully, and it is a really wonderful combination with these green-white tulips, the chartreuse color euphorbia, and then at one point the beautiful lilac of the Nepeta. I'm so happy with this plant combination, and something that I have throughout the entire front garden. But what I want to plant stands here. This is the Ace. I'm going to give you a closer look at the label in a second. Why I think it works so well is that I have these big drifts of epimedium here, and I also have kind of a chartreuse color leaf, really beautiful blooms. I have a big drift just underneath the willow, another big drift just next to the willow. Then I have more euphorbia, different varieties, nepeta, the white greenish tulips, and then the Acer. I think it's going to work really well because it has pretty much the same foliage color to what the epimedium have. So there is a repetition. I have this like pillow of really beautiful chartreuse green foliage in the front, and then just look at these blooms. Aren't they just the most pretty delicate little thing you could possibly imagine? I'm always in love with these. Every single time I feel like maybe I should just cut some for a vase, but then if there is a really beautiful Acer in the back, which is going to grow to really nice size on top of it, I think this is bound to work just perfectly. And I'm going to have asters here. So in autumn, I'm going to have really beautiful lilac color aster. This is Aster Asram, and then the Acer in the backdrop here. This is a variety called Jordan. It is a quite common and popular variety, so nothing that is too difficult to get your hands on, and you can already see how the color changes. So the fresh new leaves, they are still in this yellow kind of, yeah, really nice yellow color. The stems are orangey, also very interesting. And then as the foliage ages, it is more on the chartreuse side. So very nice, fresh green foliage. And I think it's going to work so nice because then I have the dark green of the hatch in the backdrop and then the Acer in the front. And I think you can really appreciate the beautiful color of it. If you want to plant an Acer in your garden, I think you're going to do it for two different reasons. The first one is you just want to introduce some height to your garden because Acers, they can grow into shrubs, they can even grow into really lovely tall trees or standards like the one that I just planted on the slope with you in a container. And the second reason, quite obviously, is that you just want to bring this element of intriguing color by foliage to a border. And I think Acers are just the perfect plant next to Catinas, having that said, to do so. But there is an area that is a little bit in partly shade. So I think this variety would be very good, but I'm going to give you more information about it in a moment. So first talking about foliage, Acers come in a big range of beautiful foliage. You have all these like red varieties with like burgundy leaves, and they have this autumnal firework in all shades of crimson red. Just magical. Then there is the one that I just planted with you together in a pot on the slope. Foliage is still looking peach perfection wonderful. I'm so in love with that variety. Every single time I go to the slope, I'm like, oh, that was a best purchase in a long time. And then obviously you have all the different kind of chartreuse color leaves, which are just beautiful because they freshen up an area instantly, especially when you have an area that is a little bit darker or in front of a hatch. The beautiful fact about this variety is that in autumn, all these leaves are going to change color to gold. So I am expecting a beautiful firework of gold, maybe even into orange. So I am quite intrigued about what this is going to do because I've never seen it in the landscape, at least not that I'm aware of. In terms of blooms, again, it produces flowers, but the flowers on Acers, they are not like so impeccable. You know, they kind of disappear in the foliage, which is perfectly fine with me. And the flowers here, they are supposed to be a little bit more on the orange or red side. So I'm kind of intrigued to see what is going to happen there, but I'm not even going to sure if anything is going to come this year. Most of the time, Acer produce the blooms on a little more mature varieties. In terms of location, and this is going to be very interesting, most of the Japanese Acers, they prefer to thrive somewhere in partly shade, but this variety is one that can cope extremely well with full sun, which is quite rare and which is really good for the area where I intend on putting it because there are moments of the day where it is really going to be exposed to full sun, especially in the morning hours and in the afternoon again. And it is a quite protected area, so it can be quite nice and warm in there, which is nice because during winter I know I'm not going to lose this variety here, but it gives me a lot of confidence when I hear that this can cope extremely well with full sun. In terms of soil, it prefers a nice neutral garden soil, so no acidic soil. But what I'm going to do is I will enrich the soil in the area. So I will really replace a lot of this soil. I'll come in, just dig out a lot of my native sandy soil, come in with 1, maybe even 2 bags of very lovely fresh garden compost, some handsful of organic bone chips, dug it all under and really prepare this entire area so that this little shrub can root in extremely well. This variety is going to grow between 2 meter, maybe 2 meter 50 in height. The label said a little less though. This is what is a little surprising. I just done my online research. This says 1.50 m in height online. On a nursery that I really love, they say 2 to 2.50 m. So let's see. In terms of width, it can be between 80 centimeters, maybe 1 meter in width. And this is perfect for an herbaceous border, because then you don't have this overpowering huge shrub sitting in your herbaceous border. If they stay a little bit on the slimmer side, you can always lovely underplant it with a lot of beautiful perennials, and this is exactly what happens in that border over there. This one is going to produce shallow roots, so it does not like to dry out completely, and this is also the reason why I really enrich the soil around it. So there are a lot of nutrients kind of like in a shallow area all the way around this. But the fact that this can cope extremely well with full sun and that it produces shallow roots means that you can also put it in a container and on your sunny terrace. So if you were thinking about putting an Acer in a container on your terrace, Jordan might be just the right variety for you. So I think this is going to be so beautiful. One of those really lovely, lucky purchases that was not on my list in the slightest, but still makes me very happy. What I need to do there first is do a little bit of transplanting, because there are 3 asters now still in that border that were all right in that area, but I think I'm going to put them here in the island bed, because I have just the same variety of aster already here. I have five plants there, so 3 more. That's going to make a lovely drift out of 8. So excited about that. Then I'm going to enrich the soil, plant this, and give you a last update too on how everything looks. Just to quickly show you, these are the 3 asters that I planted here last year. They are looking all right. 2 are looking actually really nice. This one's very lush, that one is perfect, that one is a little limp. Still all right though. This is a variety called Dauerblau, which translates into everlasting blue. It was nice. It was not as amazing as I was hoping for it, I'm honest with you. Maybe this year I'm going to like it more. I'm still going to give it a second chance in the island bed, and let's see. And I have some volunteers weeds already here. So I'm also going to do a little bit of a quick weeding probably. But I'm quickly going to take you with me now to the island bed and show you where I want to put those. This is the island bed in the midsection of the garden, and this is where I already have a little bit of a nice drift of 5 asters, Dauerblau. So here they are, 5 of them. So I have 1 more there, 1 more there, the small one in there. Here I have an hydrangea. This is Limelight, very popular. You all know it. More asters, Rose Novalis. Oh, they look fantastic. They all came back with a lot of fresh green foliage, and I already see buds swelling up. So they're really going to come to bloom in June time. So lovely. More Bistorta in here, and then the cherry tree. Still the last bit of the blooms. No bees in there today. Really surprising. All the bees are in the back of the garden at the pear tree. Maybe they've done the business now, because, can I show you? I think I can. Look, cherry's starting to swell up already. So I think pollination was successful. I'm really expecting a lovely good harvest out of this tree this year. Wonderful. But what I'm going to do now is take you with me back to the front garden and start the planting. It is bright and sunny, not ideal for filming, but ideal for me because it is lovely and warm, and I think you still get the point of this. Whenever you're planting a shrub the way that I did, in a border where you have a front and a back, make sure that you position the shrub with the front facing to the front, because this shrub is kind of branching outwards, and this was important for me, that it kind of looks a little symmetrical, just how it is right now. I mean, let's see how it continues growing. I'm super excited about it, but I think it works extremely well with all the different foliage and textures. You have the grasses, I have the euphorbia, the napata, then more euphorbia on the left that is about to kick in, the bearded iris, which always have a really wonderful foliage accent. And just want to give you a closer look at it again. So what I did is I really came in with an entire bag of fresh soil, watered it in extremely well, mulched everything really nicely. And now you can also see the foliage. I think this is really beautiful. Just a special color, and then also the stems make it so wonderful. Can't wait for it to really grow, but I think this year this is what it is basically. I don't really think it's going to pick up a lot of growth this year anymore, but I'm happy with it still. I think this is just the most important thing, that the plant will root in well, that it has all the good innings here. Good soil, fresh mulch, starting fertilizer, so couldn't be happier about it. That is it for today's video with a view onto the front garden. What do you think? I'm really happy with the result this year. I'm kind of waiting for the napata to start flowering, because I think once there are these accents of really wonderful violet in the front garden, then it really rounds everything up and it makes it perfect. But I think also the Acer, I hope it's going to root in well, and I hope it's going to thrive in there, because I think this is just the structure that I was missing in this side of the border, and I think it would be so fabulous. And the best thing is that I was already checking when I'm working in the kitchen from a kitchen counter, I have a straight view onto this. So whenever I do indoor videos, when I'm potting something with you and standing a little side of the counter, I have the view onto this border, and I will have a straight view onto the Acer. So fingers crossed, going to be happy and lovely in there. I'm going to continue with some more planting in the front garden. So in my next video, you're going to see me here again, because I have lovely annuals that'll go in here. Since last year, I decided every single year, because I really loved the visual from last year. And then I have a really exciting perennial that I don't have it anywhere else in my garden. I have seen it in other gardens though. Really love it. I had an eye on that variety already for a year or two, I believe, but it was always sold out. And this year I got my hands on 6 of them. So I'm really thrilled to take you with me into the front garden in my next video. Hope you're excited as well. Take care, guys. Bye.